My name is Kasie Kirkland. I went to Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis High School. Right now I'm a freshman at NYU, and I was in Blastbeat from 2007 in my school to 2009, but I still put on shows. Blastbeat has made me realize what I want to do with the rest of my life. Yeah, if it wasn't for Blastbeat, I wouldn't be where I am today or what I am today. Like, I've met so many amazing people, not only bands but like kids who go to shows and people who are like willing to help us out. Like, just being in Blastbeat made me realize how much of a demand there is to like revive the music scene, because it's not dying, but it's in a dire state. So like, just being around artists and like feeling their passion and these kids who just want to like be a part of music, it made me like think, okay, just because the competition is done doesn't mean that the scene stops too. So I feel like it's sort of my duty to like give these kids a chance to hear this amazing music and give these artists a stage and an outlet to be able to play and do what they love. And I love seeing other people do what they love. So I mean, music is universal, so for me to be able to be part of that has been amazing. What do I do now? Well, Black Sheep Records is the MMC that turned into, I don't even know what to call us. Some people call us a promotion company, some people say that we're a booking company, but we promote, we book, we search for bands, like we find them through MySpace, or we find them through other bands, or friends of friends, or like when we go to a show and we see a band that we like, we might talk to them after the show. And we book the bands and we go to venues and we pay for the venues with like our own money or money from previous shows, and we promote, like we make flyers, we promote over the internet, and we put the kids in the venue and we put the bands on the stage, and we just put on shows throughout the city, just getting music out there to these kids.
Cool. And tell us about these shows. Do you sell tickets? Are they for? Do you like have to pay for the venues? How did you learn to organise all this?
Through Blastbeat. Blastbeat, like, I wouldn't have been able to, I don't think I would have even been involved in any of this if it wasn't for Blastbeat. Like, not only has it taught me about the music, but it's also taught me about the business aspect. So like, pre-sale tickets and how to promote and how to manage your money, and like talking to like venues, like venue promoters and bookers and stuff. Since lazy, kids are lazy nowadays, and they don't put the effort out to like discover new music. If it's not fed to them by the media, then they won't put the effort in to go like try and find like the underground stuff. So when you see kids show up to shows and are just like genuinely happy to be there, it's amazing. So Bowery Poetry Club has been our family. Like, not only is it a cool venue, but the people there support us so much, and they're really into what we're doing. And it's also a venue that does like a lot of 21 plus shows. So to be able to get through to that sort of crowd and have older people and younger people and just everyone together just there for the love of music has been amazing. The Bowery Poetry Club is a great venue. It's just like a community. Like, they love us and we love them, and it's just like a giant love fest. How did I get involved? So I saw flyers for this music program around my school, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. And I'm like, I tried to convince my friends to go with me, and none of them wanted to go, so I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna be all alone. But then I'm like, you know what, this is like a big opportunity for me, so I'm just gonna take it. And I went to the first meeting, and as soon as I heard you can go to Ireland, I was like, whoa! And I was like, I definitely need to be involved in this. I'm like, music and Ireland? Like, how can I pass this up? So I started going to the meetings, and just like, honestly, the trip to Ireland was like the icing on the cake. I enjoyed myself in every other aspect so much that I sort of forgot what the end result was gonna be. I was just so like immersed in business and in music. And so we just started like putting a business plan together and telling kids about us, and we sold CDs, and we had bake sales, and we started talking to bands. bands, and just the response that I got from bands made me realize how, just like as soon as I put out like an ad on like Craigslist or something and saying that we needed bands, and to see like the massive response that I got from people, I'm like, whoa. And all these bands were so good, like I didn't want to like pick specific. I mean, obviously I had to pick like 3, but it's just that is what made me want to keep going, because all these bands who we didn't get to put on the show for the Battle of the Bands, they still deserve a stage. And people who artists deserve a stage no matter what, like no matter their age, no matter what kind of music they play, even if they're not that good, if they have potential, I feel like they deserve to
have the opportunity.
Yeah, so I decided to be A&R, and I found some pretty amazing bands.
What would you like to do now going forward? You were talking about you have some plans. What are
Well, right now, since we're still doing shows, we want to expand, and we're trying to get sponsors. We're revising our business plan right now, and we want to start taking our bands on the road, because like we figure if the music scene solely in New York City is so great, imagine across the country. So we just want to like travel to each state and like at least do 1 show in each state, and then eventually get big and like maybe to like the same level as Warped Tour, and then after that own our own music venue and implementing a strictly all ages policy.
Where, in New York?
In New York.
Good idea to start maybe in the 5 boroughs.
Yeah, the 5, because it's like honestly the 5 boroughs are like 5 different cities in and of itself, because like the Bronx is known for like the punk hardcore scene, and Brooklyn is known for like indie rock, and then the Lower East Side of Manhattan is like alternative, maybe a little like metalcore, and like if you go around like the lower East Side, it's a lot of punks. And then Queens, I don't even know about Queens. Like Queens said, I like knock down the door of like one of these corporate institutions and just tell them like shake them, like what are you doing? Like they're so disconnected from what's actually going on, and they don't realize what they're doing is they have. To me, like if I had that big of a voice and that big of an influence, I would be trying so hard to put genuine greatness out to the masses, and they're just like feeding these kids complete BS. It's like I don't feel like they're drones. They're not. I think that they need to come out, like take off their suits and come out into the streets and go to the show and see what these kids are doing. Like look at these bands on stage and be in the crowd and feel like the sweat and the like intensity and the energy of these kids, and then maybe they'll wake up and realize, okay, we need to like go a different route and actually like give these kids what they need, not like the Hannah Montana. Is that even real? Is that even music? Like, yeah. The brands that I think are cool. What brands do I think are cool? Vans. Definitely, because the Vans Warped Tour. Glamour Kills is this like clothing brand that a lot of bands wear. To Write Love on Her Arms is like this cool Music Saves Lives is another like thing that tries to like help out. Skate for Cancer. There are a lot of different. Yellow Rat Bastard is not actually a brand, it's a store, but they have like their own magazine and they have like the coolest clothes. Like the store is crazy. It's like a CBGB's but like a store. It's insane. Brands that I think are uncool, Abercrombie and Fitch. Like all of like the Hollister and like all the not even like you can be preppy and listen to cool music, but just like the mentality, just like okay, we're pretty and we all think alike and we're all clones, so let's just like dress the same way and do the same things and act like we're cool, but we're really not. Like, kids are so they're disconnected because the people who are feeding them this is disconnected as well.